Well, hello, guys, to a show about whatever. I hate the name. I just want you all to know I hate the name. I don't know why it's called this. I want to change it, but I've changed it so many times that I just can't be bothered anymore. So, fuck that. So, we are just going to go right into the Housewives. This is going to be Housewives breakdowns for the rest of this time because it's all I want to talk about is the Housewives. There will be content on other platforms of mine, doing the artist interviews and things like that. And I'm still going to be covering Free Britney, but this little section is just going to be Housewives. Okay, so let's talk about Real Housewives of New Jersey. So we start off New Jersey and they are at Lake George. And Lake George, I think Lake George looks quite nice, to be honest. I would like to go to Lake George. It looks very sunny. And it's nice to see New Jersey just not being winter, not being cold. It's nice to see them out of their winter coats. I like to see these girls in the sun. They look good. Melissa Gorga I just think Melissa is so stunning. When I look at her, I think she's so gorgeous. It's because she's had plastic surgery to look like Jennifer Lopez. And I think Jennifer Lopez is gorgeous. Sometimes I am a bit taken aback when I'm like, I watched the old seasons the other day of New Jersey and Melissa had her old nose. And I was like, hold on. I forgot that she looked like that. And it's surprising to me how different the nose. And when Jacqueline was like, 5 nose jobs, 5 nose jobs, I think she might have done because I feel like Melissa had like tiny little nose jobs and just gradually chipped away at her nose for it to be where it is right now, instead of just because I looked at it and I was like, I didn't even notice that her nose looked this different. It just gradually changed over time. And I guess with the Housewives faces, they change so often that when her nose just gradually got smaller, I just didn't notice the gradual change. But when I watched it back, I was like, shit, this is why I feel like I didn't like her when she had her old nose. And I think that she owes her plastic surgeon a medal because I think her new nose made me like her. I thought this with, similar things to Bethany. When I liked Bethany with long hair, when Bethany cut her hair short, I think it made her personality not very nice. Something happened and I just couldn't deal with it. So I think that sometimes you can change your look and it can just make you likable. And I think her new nose did that. Because I didn't like her the first 2 seasons at all. But I love her now. Anyway. So they're all talking about how, for some reason, they all think that Teresa needs to get over this. I guess they've had enough of Teresa's shit. Maybe if I was their friend, I would have had enough as well. If I was Teresa's friend. But I just feel like Teresa should be allowed, after what she's been through, she should be allowed to do whatever she wants to do. Like, I don't think anyone should ever try and, like, Teresa, let her just say what she said. And honestly, I don't think what she said was that bad. Your husband's cheating on you is, I remember back in the day, like, we would be shocked at hearing that on the Housewives. Now I'm like, yeah, he probably is. Like, it's not a thing. So get over it. Like, you're on the Housewives. What do you expect? You say, yeah, okay, I don't think so. Move on. Like, that's it. Jackie, for some reason, is acting so dramatic. And then they're all kind of feeling, I think that I think they've all just had enough of Teresa, if I'm honest with you. I think they all hate Teresa and they're just like, I want to just have a go at her when I can. And they're all saying that Teresa is the one who needs to apologise. And that she, it's all like the kind of attitude that they have, like, is, I feel so bad. Like, I'm so sorry that I'm so sorry that Jackie isn't here. I miss Jackie. Do you miss Jackie? I miss Jackie. I miss Jackie was here. It's so sad that she's not here. It's like, shut up, okay? Like, are you really that sad that Jackie's not there? I don't really like Jackie. So, Jackie, if you're listening to this, I'm sure you are. I've tried my hardest to like you. I just don't. And I'm sure she would say to me, that's no shirt off my back, Jordan, or something like that. Or it's not a loss. Like, okay, yeah, it's not a loss. But let me tell you something, Jackie. I just don't gel with you at all. And I think I kind of feel the same as Dolores. Dolores made such a good point, which was that I think, did I write it down? Oh yeah, Dolores was like, I've seen her upset over less, and that's what I mean. She is. I have seen her. I mean, I've seen her upset like this over less things. She really does get really upset. Maybe you're not built for the housewives. I mean, I don't know. I like housewives getting upset, but I don't like her getting upset. It's just annoying to me. I don't know. I just don't think I want her on the show. But then I like having her around because I like not liking her. And you can't like every housewife, can you? Surely not. Anyway, so for some reason they're going and having a really nice time at Lake George, and they've gone on this like boat and they're going to a restaurant. And Melissa shares that Antonia has a boyfriend. I was a bit horrified. I gotta say, like, I feel like I was Antonia, a boyfriend? Like, what are these? How old are these kids? I did not know that they were like 15 years old. And it kind of shocks me because when I was 15, I thought I was grown ass motherfucking adult child. Like, I just thought like, I mean, and by the way, I didn't do anything when I was 15. I was a really good boy. I didn't drink alcohol until I was 18 years old. And now and I didn't like do anything naughty. I didn't like have sex and kiss people and anything like that. I didn't do anything. I was really good. But at 15, I definitely felt like I should have been. And everyone else was doing it. And everyone else was having a great time. And I just stood there like, oh, I'm scared. And so when I thought about Antonia and I thought about my little baby Melania and my little kids all just, you know, out here like kissing boys and they have sex. Melissa said that Melania said that Melania said that Zach, who we now know his name is Zach, who's going out of Antonia, doesn't pressure her to have sex. And everybody's having sex. And I thought, God, of course they are. All these kids in New Jersey having sex. This is scary. I'm just like, oh God. I don't know how I feel about that. I just feel like 15 is way too young. I think like 15 at my parents' generation was probably normal, or 15 to like my grandparents' generation was normal. But I feel like we've had this creation of teenagehood and childhood. You know, kids aren't up chimney sweeps anymore. You know, it's not Victorian times. So this is now like it's not okay at that age anymore. So I was really horrified at that. I just felt like, yeah, I just don't want to. I don't want them to do that. I don't want little Antonia. But you know what? They're grown-ass adults now. I have to let these little kids be grown. You know, like, so it kind of happened with Brielle, although, you know, Brielle I always thought was, you know, I always thought she was going to turn into a little mini Kim, which is fine. But, you know, I did used to look at her and think, oh, God, like, she's grown up now, and Riley's got all these kids are growing up, and I'm like, I have to let them go. I have to let them be adults. I can't hold on to these, you know, childhoods anymore. But sometimes I look at them and I'm like, but you was a little baby once, you know. I don't know, it's very strange growing up with these housewives. Anyway, so they have this conversation. Dolores says that she used to be scared to go away for the weekend or go away without her husband and leave him because he would cheat on her. And I just was like shocked. And Melissa said she feels the same. And drunk Melissa's out. I love drunk Melissa, to be honest. I actually love Melissa when she's drunk. I actually think everyone should be drunk all the time. I think people are their best selves when they're drunk. I think they're fun. I think people are living their lives as I drink. But you know what I mean? Like drinking, like people when they drink, they're a good time. And Melissa's fun as a drunk. They all said that they don't like leaving their husbands when their husbands, because they think their husband's going to cheat on them. And it's honestly like, I don't have a husband. I've never had a boyfriend, never had a wife or a husband. I've never had anything. So the idea that you're scared to leave them on their own because they're going to cheat on you it was such a foreign concept to me. And then I thought, wow, this is such a reality that like, I bet a lot of women are going through this. Like, I just really didn't think about that. And they all said that, yeah, like Yeah, in case he cheated, Melissa and Margaret agreed. They said that like and then when, because if they go out, their husband's like, oh, you're out, okay, I'm gonna go out and go in harder. And I just thought, men are fucking dicks. Like, honestly, what I haven't, I forgot that this was going on. I have pictures. I'm on you. If you're watching on YouTube, I have pictures, and I completely forgot that I have pictures in the background to show people. I'm going to discuss that picture in a second, but yeah, they were saying that they were worried about, like, they would worried that their men were going to cheat, and that for me is just, I just think at this point, like, you're worried that your men are going to cheat. I worry for them. I just think men need to change. Like, men suck. Men absolutely suck. Like, the fact that this is a real thing. So then Teresa shares this story about how she went out and she met Joe, and Joe, her brother, was out, and then they went to a strip club together, and then Melissa called and said that she was like, well, where are you at, Joe? Where are you going? And he's like, I'm with my sister, Teresa. Tell her that we're not at the strip club. Tell her we're somewhere else. And Teresa's like, Joe, why did you put me in this position? I don't know what to say. Like, okay, weird. Would you go with your brother or sister to a strip club? I don't know. Maybe it's a British thing, or maybe it's because I grew up extremely Christian, but strip club culture for me, I thought, was kind of fringe. I feel like Americans, and I only know this because of The Housewives. So if The Housewives doesn't represent America, I'm sorry, I don't know. But from my perception of America through The Housewives, is that you guys are kind of comfortable with strip clubs a lot more than I would have thought. I'm not. I thought strip clubs were for like seedy old men. Maybe I'm the ignorant one. But I think that if you were to say if you were to say that you went to a strip club with your brother or sister, I think in England people would be confused by that. I think they would be like, oh. And why? But in America, the way she said it and the way everyone reacted, like, no one was like, why are we at your strip club with your brother? No, I guess it's okay. I guess that's normal. I think Americans go to strip clubs like English people go and pop to the shops. You know, just go and pop down the road. And yeah. By the way, talking about English people, I usually like to see an English person on a housewife show, because I'm like, oh yeah, a team. Like, loved Carlton, loved Lisa Vanderpump. Who is this new bitch? There's a picture of her here. This is the back of her. And by the way, what are these hoodies? What? I don't understand whose hoodies these are. I don't know whose new businesses these are. It's horrific. These are the worst outfits I've ever seen in my life, and they all had them. This is disgusting. It looks like someone has thrown paint in it and then put it in the wash 3 times, and it's kind of fake. It's horrific. And they all had this themed clothing. I don't like that. I know New Jersey's never been like the fashion capital, but this was even bad for like the posh fashion show. This is not the Minister Gorga. I don't envy you in this outfit. Okay. Really don't appreciate. And this British woman, is she what? Margaret's assistant? What are you? Are you a friend of? Are you a housewife? Are you here for the day? What are you doing? Why do you feel like you should be giving your opinion? I need to know what you're doing, because she's all like, oh, excuse me, guys. I just had a moment. Like, shut up. Giving her 2 cents. See, the problem, and she has this weird, I was like, is she British? And I'm British. And I was like, is she English? I was like, oh no, she's South African, or she's Australian, because she's talking strange. Like, even a British accent mixed with an American accent sounds bizarre at finest, but like, I can often tell. But, you know, Dorit, which is whatever that fucking accent is, you know, she's from Connecticut, but like, you know, oh my God, Lisa. So, but, that this woman, I could not understand her accent. I thought she was South African or Australian. And then she, at the end, was like, in England, the biggest animal we have to run away from is a badger. And I was like, What does she mean from England? You're not from England. This is not an English accent. Like, this is not a hybrid English American accent. This is a hybrid American with something else accent. I don't know. She irritated me. I don't like her. Whoever she is, shut up. Don't want to hear you talk. I like those housewives friends that don't talk. Oh god. Do you know what? Usually I don't like them. I like the friends that talk and interact. I don't like the friends that come on and just nod. You know. Like, but she should just be a nodder, okay? That whoever she is, fake English woman. Oh, the scariest animal's a badger. Like, what was her voice? I was very angry at it. They have a really nice time on this boozy boat, which honestly, I wish I was there. Would have loved to have a good shot with Teresa. Oh, I just love Teresa. Want to be her best friend. They have a really good time. And Melissa and Teresa. No, who came up with the idea? I think Dolores came up with the idea to ring Joe and say, like, to get back at the fact that he went to the strip club with his sister and lied to you on the phone and said he wasn't there. You now say to him, like, Teresa now rings him up and says, I think that Melissa was talking to the restaurateur, whoever this restaurateur in some restaurant, or I don't know, and that she's like, you know, joking around saying that she's cheating on he I don't even know what the insinuation was, but I think it was that Melissa was dancing with him and talking to him and went off with him privately, insinuating that something more may have happened. She calls up her brother. And the way that Teresa was just like so ready to say this lie and just took the opportunity to come for Melissa, like she was literally like she like rang him up. She was like, Joe, I saw Melissa off with like this restaurant. The guy who owns the restaurant, he was like the manager of the restaurant. And she was like, you know, she was there like, oh, I'm Melissa. Like, I'm Melissa. Like, he was just standing there and she was just like, oh, I'm Melissa. And I was like, oh my God, like you're actually taking the like, any opportunity to shade your sister-in-law. Like, that is a little bit cruel, which is brilliant. Like... I bloody love her. I do love Teresa. But she's like sitting there on the phone and she's telling Joe that like, oh, Melissa was speaking to the restaurateur and she went over here and she did this and she did that. And the way she lied was just off the cuff, like easy. Like she said this lie with such ease. I was like, oh my God, I've been on Teresa's side this whole time, but she's probably been lying. Like she lies so good and believable, and her brother's even like listening to this and he like pulls over and he like speaks to her in Italian. He's like, like, you know, he's like what do you mean, like tell me. He was shook and he believed her, and he believed that Melissa could possibly have been cheating. And Teresa just kind of, the way that she was like explaining this lie to him, she was saying it and she was like making stuff up on the spot. And then she was like, I don't know, Joe, like I didn't see what they were saying. Like I just saw them like go off over there, but I didn't know what she was speaking. I didn't think she was going to do anything. Anyway, yeah, like, oh, Melissa's just walked into the room. Oh, hi. She acted it so brilliantly. And I was like, wow, psychopath. Like she could pass one of Lisa Vanderpump's lie detector test. Like these housewives are actually a little bit sick. They can lie so well that they could probably pass lie detector test. Something's going on here. They're brilliant. I screenshotted this picture, and if you're seeing it, Margaret has had some kind of work done, and she has a very horizontal mouth, and I just was surprised by that. Every time I see it, I'm like, this is very horizontal. It's very straight across. Like, I don't know, interesting. She's had a boobs that look, I like Margaret. I think she's a very real woman, and I like to see housewives be more real. But the mouth is interesting to me. I just think, wow, why does it look so straight and across and horizontal? It's just, you know, it's bizarre. Anyway. So I think I might have took this picture because I just thought Melissa Gorga was absolutely beautiful. I honestly, I like fancy her. Like I think she's fit as fuck. Like Melissa Gorga, is just sex on legs. I actually think she's really hot. I love Mrs. Gorga. I love Melissa Gorga. So then we get to the point where Jen tells Dolores that Michelle Pace, who I guess is a friend of, again, I don't know who you are. Are you a friend? Are you what are you? Are you an extra? Are you a nodder? Like, what are you? She seems pretty, but she seems thirsty as fuck. When she was like, so basically, Jen at Evan's party, which I guess they didn't show us originally, that Michelle, who is, I think was brought on by Teresa. I think she's selling Teresa's house or something. Who the hell is this bitch? I don't have a clue who she is. She goes over to Jen and tells Jen that Joe Gorga, Melissa's husband, owes her husband money because he did a motivational speaking at Gorga's what was it called? Did I write it down? At an event, and it was called something like growing with Gorga. Don't know what it was about. Like, I guess it was about growing something. And he spoke at it and didn't get paid. And apparently he owes him tens of thousands of dollars, like lots of dollars. Was it tens of thousands? He owes him so many dollars. I don't know I don't know who Michelle Pay's husband is, and I don't know why he's worth so much to do one talk at an event. But what, $10,000, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, really? Like, what's going on, Michelle? By the way, Dolores, I just want to say again, another one, sexy as hell, gorgeous. She is so fire this season. I was not a Dolores fan, didn't like her first season, didn't really like her, thought she was boring, don't think she said anything. I think she just bummed off Siggy Flicker, who I loved and has broken my heart, by the way. Siggy fucking Flicker, you've broken my heart. You and your Donald Trump capital surrectionist supporting self. I used to love you, Siggy fucking Flicker. And you have broken me. I just want to know. I hope Siggy's listening to this. Jackie's listening to this. Siggy, you've broken my heart. You've hurt me. You've hurt me by doing what you've done. I thought you was a good one. Siggy fucking Flick, I'm really disappointed. But by the way, Dolores, fucking hot. Sex on legs. This outfit is disgusting. These horrible tie-dye it looks like something from 2003 that was awful, like horrible outfit. She rocks it and she looks so good. David does not know what he's gonna regret that one day. He needs to be on that, and he's not treating that the way that he needs to be treated. Look at her. She's got no makeup on, and these horrible outfits. She could not look any worse than she possibly, like, she's dressed awfully. Her hair's awful. Her face has got no makeup, and she looks like $1,000,000. This is her at her worst. You don't deserve her, David, at her worst, let alone her best, okay? And this is her at her worst. We don't even deserve this, America, England, whatever, whoever I'm speaking to. Apparently, I have fans in Estonia, and I just want to say, my Estonian people, love you. Love that you listen to my podcast. It's amazing. So, apparently, Joe Gorga owes this Michelle Pay's husband money, and Jen's like, how do I bring it to her? And it's this kind of, for some reason, and I've seen like Jackie on Watch What Happens Live, there seems to be this concept that Jen heard this from her, and now it's like on Jen on whether she brings it to, if she brings it up to Melissa, then it's a problem. But I feel like, look, if someone said it about someone on the camera, you need to tell the person and say to them, look, they said this, and you can say it in a way that's like, oh, I'm going to bring it out and be shady. Or you can bring it out and just be like, look, they said this and I'm letting you know, and you can handle it the way you want to handle it. Like, it's not a problem. So why is it like, it seems like if Jen brings this up, then Melissa's going to take it as you're coming for me because you brought it up. But the fact is, she was told it by this extra on camera. So surely Melissa has to understand that we're filming The Housewives and you signed up for this. So if this is going to be said on camera, then it has to be told to you by the person who was told it. Like hello, like you need to hear it. Like we're on the show. Like, what's going on here? So I don't know why everyone's worried about whether Jen tells Melissa or not. Jen has to tell Melissa. I guess there's this. I have a feeling like I do a lot of like I'm trying to always work out what's going on with these housewife shows and how they're filming it, and I think that they might be like if this Michelle person tells Jen and Jen doesn't tell Melissa and doesn't ever speak about it again, then the producers won't put it on the show because it wasn't a storyline that went anywhere. Like it's almost like it's the housewives' fault for making a storyline out of something. And I didn't think of it like that. I always thought, oh, like the producers say to them, you have to bring this up. So therefore, that's why it's brought up. But I don't know. It's very confusing. Because there's stuff where I'm trying to think of another season. I think it could have been the Monique season with Monique and Giselle and Big Boy not being the father of their child. And there was something where like it was whether Giselle and the girls were going to bring it up on camera or not. And I don't know, some stuff. It was very confusing. It's almost like, I don't know. I really am trying to wrap my brains as to how these shows work and how they come to be. I don't know what a producer does and what a producer doesn't. For me, I think they do everything, but then I don't know if they do anything. I don't know. So that's what happens there. Then we have these scenes with the men, and you're a dick, but I love you. That's what we're hearing here. I don't know who said that. These men, I'm going to rank the men, the ones that I like the most and the ones I like the least. I like Bill the most. I think Bill is nicest. Bill Aiden. I think he's nice. I think he's geeky. I think he's trustworthy. I think he doesn't cheat on his wife. Jen said that she doesn't worry when her husband goes out, and he doesn't worry when she goes out, and that's just trust. And I like that, and I think he's a good husband. I think he's really cool. I think he's kind of, well, he can get it. Who's my next favorite? I think Joe Gorga is I do like Joe Gorga. I think he's got something. There's something about Joe Gorga in a disgusting way. Something about him that's kind of hot and also really nice and likable, but he is gross when he talks about Tarzan. He's kind of, I don't know. There's some things with Joe Gorga I'm like, ugh, I don't like you. But I think he would always win you over. He has this like thing. I don't know what it is. Now, I like Frank as well. I think Frank is a nicer person than what he looks like. I think he looks, if you was to judge him upon appearance alone, he's very red and he's very muscly and he looks like he would be kind of not a very nice person. He's also cheated on Dolores a lot, which I think is mean, and he's obviously upset her. But I think he's a lovely guy. He seems really nice on the show. And he seems like a really cool person. He has breathing problems. I think he's just very swollen, and it's just like a lot of muscle. Like it's a lot of muscle. It's very red. It's a lot of blood. Like there's not a lot of fat content. It's just a lot going on. So sometimes it's a little bit Hulk Hogan for me, but I think he's a nice person. Now, I really have not developed any connection towards Margaret's husband whatsoever. I don't like I call him Joe number 25 because he's irrelevant. Whatever he is. There's so many Joes and he's at the end. Okay. I just don't like him. Don't trust him. I don't know why. I just don't like him. I think it's when he threw Marty in the pool. I felt that was mean. I don't know. He doesn't vibe with me. There's something about Margaret and him, and I really want to pinpoint where it came, because I used to really like Margaret, and I thought she was a brilliant new housewife. And I really don't know when I stopped liking her. And I think it could have been her fight with Danielle and Marty, but then I don't know why would I take Danielle's side? For some reason, I take Danielle's side over a lot of stuff as well. I don't know why. I just like her, and I have a pattern. Maybe it's quite toxic. I need to fix this. That housewives that are so crazy, that act in such a ridiculous way. I just think, like her, like Jen Shah, I just think you're acting like this so mad and it makes no sense and you have no reason to, and there's no justification, that there's something happening that I don't know about, and that you have to be right and I just have to believe you. Do you know what I mean? And that's probably wrong, because they're probably just bitches. I don't know. Probably just not nice women. But I don't know. Anyway, so they talk and and did I rank? Oh, Evan. Evan's good looking. Don't know his personality. Don't care about him whatsoever. So he's not even ranked. But yeah, that's did I miss anybody? I don't know if I missed anybody. Don't care. They say something, I think. Oh, I did want to just say that I do think plastic surgery for men should be improved. I think women look great with plastic surgery and makeup, and I think there's a market for men to have plastic surgery and makeup, and I really think it should happen. I saw a lot of it. Was sometimes shocking to me because I'm so accustomed to seeing pulled faces. I'm so accustomed with the housewives seeing faces that look like aliens. To see real human faces with pores and sweat, I was like, oh God, we need fillers, don't we? We need plastic surgery. We need things happening. But when you have plastic surgery as a man, and I'm thinking about this every day, and I'm like, oh God, I'm worried about it, because plastic surgery on men doesn't tend to look very good. And I've seen plastic surgery on men, it tends to look very fake and they look ridiculous and plastic and horrible. On women, for some reason, their plastic surgery face looks great. Joan Rivers, Lisa Rinna, like, it's so obvious that it's not a real face, but it looks so fucking hot. I don't give a shit. Joe, the one that I don't like, the Joe that I don't like, says that he has also heard in his house talking with, like, women talking to Margaret, that Evan has had an affair, and they all did a shot to say that they didn't think that Evan had an affair. But Joe, now hearing it, I honestly, like, it made me think that this is a real rumor, and I thought maybe it is a rumor that he is having an affair. Do I believe it? I don't know. I really am torn. I don't know if he is having an affair. He could be, because if this is a real rumor, that's different. I honestly, in the beginning, thought Teresa just made this up. Producer said to her, he's having an affair, which is fine, and I would have totally accepted that from her. But now that I'm hearing that Joe heard it, and maybe and Jen told Teresa that she heard it, I feel like the producers do a lot of work and a lot of speaking to people, and people do say these stuff and the producers bring it to the show. One thing I do know is that the producers don't like to bring lies to the show. I know that sounds ridiculous because these shows are full of lies, but a lot of the time, the stuff will come on these shows and the producers will do a little bit of fact checking, and the stuff that comes on the shows later on, it turns out to be kind of true, that it has. And, you know, I'm like, oh, okay. So I don't know, but I do know that there is a certain amount of fact checking, but I don't know the process. I want to believe that Evan is cheating on Jackie because I don't like her. Oh, that's so mean. I'm sorry, Jackie. So then they go to dinner. And I think, like, Melissa calls with Margaret, they call Jackie because they're like, I miss Jackie. Should we call Jackie? Oh, let's call Jackie because I miss Jackie. Whatever. Do you really miss Jackie? They call her and they're like, look, Jackie, you need to apologise to Teresa, because the only way she's going to apologise to you is if you say, I'm sorry about the G and the Coke thing. And I really think that people, like, first of all, she quoted Lisa Rinna, which is Lisa Rinna saying, Dorit, did people do coke in your bathroom? So she knows what she's saying when she did that. And she says that she said it like an analogy. I didn't take it as an analogy. When she said it, I still to this day think she might have heard something. Like the way she says that she didn't hear anything, she completely made it up. But the way she said it was very much like, I really thought she had heard something. She didn't say it like it was an analogy. And so I think she's not being accountable, and I'm really annoyed that they're all not holding her accountable for that. I just think it's unfair. I just really am angry about it. I just think that it's so disgusting to mention the children and to bring up Gia, my little baby. How dare you? Like, it's just so bad that she did that. And I think that they're being too nice to Jackie. Like, I'd be like, Jackie, you're fucking wrong. Like, she said something about your husband, fair enough, but what you said was 10 times worse, and it's not nice. And she's trying to now pretend like it's an analogy. It's not an analogy. You wanted it to look like whatever, Jackie. You brought it up. You're putting it out there. Whether it was an analogy or not, people are going to think that. Because you said, I heard this. Jackie is refusing to say sorry. She's like, oh, no, Melissa. I'm not going to say sorry to Teresa. I don't think... And then Teresa's literally like, I'm not going to say sorry to her at all. I don't give a fuck about her, to be honest. Teresa doesn't give a shit about her. And they're all trying to tell Teresa again, I think you should apologise to Jackie. She ain't having none of it. Teresa doesn't give a shit. She storms off. Walks off, does this wonderful dramatic exit, like, fuck all yous, I don't want to speak to any of yous, you all know. And Dolores is like, oh, why doesn't she want to speak to me? I didn't say anything wrong to her. Like, what's wrong with her? I've had enough of it. I don't want to hear anything about Jackie. I've had enough of it. I don't have the patience. So they have like their little thing. Teresa leaves because they were going at her. Oh yeah, then they have s'mores. And they have these s'mores, and Teresa learns that Teresa doesn't learn this. We learn this about Teresa. She doesn't like s'mores with marshmallows. So then they have s'mores, and Teresa says a line which I think is perfect for her, which is that she gets over stuff easily, or something like that. Like, I get over stuff easily. I move on. What did you say? I don't dwell on it. I don't dwell on stuff. And Dolores is like, Teresa, you fucking dwell on stuff. Like, that, you are a dweller. Like, that is you. And it is. Teresa doesn't dwell on stuff. Me and Teresa are both Tauruses, and let me tell you something. Tauruses, we hold motherfucking grudges, okay? You can do one thing to us, and we will hold a grudge till we go to the grave. And I will sit in my motherfucking grave and still be pissed off at you, bitch, okay? So, let's go, and we're going to talk about Real Housewives of Atlanta now.